Hey New World, Riptid Game Master Coaching here, plopping out another crafting guide for you guys. So today I've been working on leveling up engineering because I want to be able to get high level gear score tools for both me and my company and make some money while doing it. So I started with my usual XP breakdown of just the XP that you get for the materials used, and I found out that spears give the most XP for the resources actually used, with bows and arrows being very close to the same. To see which one would have the fastest results in gathering speed, I went out and saw how long it would take to actually make one of each of these things. So I went out, hit some young trees, hit some mature trees, collected some hide from animals, got some hemp, and then got some iron as well. And then from that I took kind of like an average of what I'd get from one node and seeing how much of collecting a resource I would need to do to actually make these items. And from that, whenever I looked at the comparison in iron, I didn't see that big of a difference. Like, not something that was like noticeable to where it would be like, hey, this thing is the thing that you need to make. So all of them were kind of about the same: bows, spears, and arrows. You can make any of them, didn't really matter. It wasn't gonna like be a huge time sink if you chose either or. It was definitely between spear and bow for me, just because it was easier to collect those resources. I already knew how to collect iron, I already had the routes, so that was like, okay, I could do that, not a big deal. So that kind of was the one for me. But bows, like coarse leather and linen, you can get both of those in a lot of areas because they're all together. So like there's an area in Windsward where there's a bunch of buffalo and there's a bunch of hemp all together, so you can get those together. And I was like, actually, that's not too bad. It's a little bit more trees that I'll have to hit, but like that isn't that big of a deal. Whenever I got to level 50 though, doing steel and star metal both, 50 and then 100, I started to notice a very big difference between all of these. So the spear was taking 2 mature trees and like around 5 young trees, whereas the bow was taking 3 mature trees and almost 6 young trees. So it was starting to get to a place, because of the amount of wood that you needed and the amount of weird wood and the amount of planks and lumber that you needed for this level 50 and then going into level 100. I was like, dude, this is going to be a huge time sink because I'm gonna have to hit a bunch of trees, like a ton of trees to actually make that up. And I was just like, no, this is not the way to go for me. So through that process, I was like, okay, like level 0, not that big of a deal. I can choose any of them. I can go between bow and spear depending on what I want. But once I hit level 50, I was like, no, I have to make spears, because at this point I'm like, I do not want to sit out there and be chopping, especially once I get into weird wood and stuff. I was like, I don't want to be out there chopping weird wood for like 4 days to get this stuff. So once I hit level 50, I found this out, and it was definitely spears all the way. And especially since wearing luck gear while doing mining and logging was super profitable, so it just kind of solidified it for me that spears was the way that I was going to go. After that though, it kind of raised the question to me, is there a way that I could actually do this faster than what I was doing it? Because I was like, dude, this is gonna take a while. Like, as I had this question in my mind after doing all this math and stuff, I ended up running out of wood, and then this thing popped up and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually can speed up this process. And I was like, if there's a way to speed this up and it's actually profitable and I can buy this, if it's cheaper than the actual resource, I'm like, dude, this is actually going to speed this up massively. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, I need to go and check this and make sure that this is a thing, or if it's a thing. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to trading post. I started looking up stuff. I was like, at this point, I was starting to do level 50 stuff. So I was having to get lumber, and I'm like, lumber's $1.72. I was like, okay, what is, I think it's a whisper wood. And it's 39. I was like, wait, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, I can literally go out, collect the lumber, collect the timber, the lumber, and then I could just sell it, and I could make a profit. I could sell it for what it is on the trading post, and then I could come in here and I could buy whisperwood, and I could literally almost 3 times, about 3 times, I could get 3 of these for every one of those I sold. And I was like, I could do that just to like make money and just continuously pump out stuff without having to go out and collect resources if I wanted to, or I could keep all those resources and then just buy this. Like, I could sell other stuff that I found randomly or whatever and just buy this, and then stacking both of those on top of each other would just like massively give me tons and tons of XP. And I was like, dude, this is insane. Like, so I found this and I was just like, all right, we're gonna do this. So once I saw this, I started buying these in bulk. And then also I was like, man, I'm throwing on luck gear right now so that way whenever I'm out there chopping down trees or mining or whatever, I'll be able to get these items, and that's just going to speed me along this process even more. If you guys have found this helpful so far, dude, smack that like button, leave a comment down there, give me some ideas of some new stuff to sift through. Right now I'm going through engineering. If you guys want to learn about smithing, if you want to learn about armor crafting, if you want to learn about anything in the game, just plop down a comment, and I am trying to collect some different things that I actually want to make videos on. It's actually really fun for me to be able to find stuff like this. So if you guys have questions, throw down those comments so that way I can actually use my brain for something other than the things that I think about. But I appreciate it. So on the spreadsheet, you guys can pause it or whatever you guys need to. At the top right are kind of the ratios for collecting the items that you need. So like I skin 1 animal for every 4 nodes of iron that I hit, and then 5 young trees to 2 mature trees. Kind of that ratio for whenever I'm collecting material. And then for the names of the other resources and stuff like that, I put them up there. There's petrified wood for tier 2, there's whisper wood for tier 3, and then down here at the bottom, I ended up putting the materials. So you can see tier 2 lumber, petrified wood, tier 2 lumber, tier 3, whisper wood tier 3, weird wood tier 4, quill bark tier 4. There's a couple of other ones. If you guys want to know those, just hit me up in the comments and I'll give you the other 2, because there's 2 more for the tier 4. If you guys end up getting there or you want to know, just let me know and I can shoot you guys those. But I didn't think it was that important right now. Quill bark is like the one. And then you can also search up, I'll throw a description. I'm sorry, I'll throw a link in the description for the database that I use, and you can literally just type in tier 4 wood or whatever, and it'll bring up these things. You can do the same thing, but I wanted to run through luck gear. So for the tier 2, you're going to need at least 10% luck for whenever you're chopping trees to be able to get those special resources. That's for tier 2, tier 3, and then tier 4 you'll need at least 14.5% luck. So you guys can figure that out. I think for the armor, the base levels of the armor, whenever you get the luck, you can get like 2% luck on each piece of armor, so that adds up to 10. If you're just, you know, like you're just starting out, you just need to create it, you'll get 10 from just your armor, and then you'll get, I think it's another like, I want to say 5 from your amulet, and then another I think 7 or so from your, or 5 from your tool. So you will have enough luck, especially at the earlier levels, to be able to get the petrified wood, to be able to get the whisper wood. Just throw on luck gear. Doesn't really matter the stats as long as you have the luck gear on there to be able to get these resources. So I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. So after breaking all that down and figuring out what's resources and XP and all that stuff, and doing a couple of runs of just collecting wood and doing stuff, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna get on Discord. I'm gonna see what my company's doing. So I popped on there just to see what they were doing. So I ended up running corruption portals with him, and just to kind of take a break from, you know, the skilling, the going out collecting resources, stuff like that, to kind of, I don't know, just like refresh my mind a little bit. And I kind of just realized before I made the decision to go and like do this thing with my company, I was like, what can I do inside of corruption portals that are actually going to help me like move forward in engineering? I was like, well, I can start selling stuff. I'll have Azos, so after I collect resources, I'll be able to like fast travel, stuff like that, a lot easier. And I was like, okay, this is still going to help me in my engineering skilling, but I'll be able to do something different. So while I'm out there, it's like I'm getting the Azoth, you know, from the corruption portal, stuff like that. And then we start running through areas where there's like silkweed and weird wood, and so I end up collecting those, and then I end up finding herbs as well that, you know, I'll be able to use to make those luck foods that are going to be able to give me these items that I just found and stuff like that. So I had the goal of wanting to do engineering, and it wasn't like I had to grind it the entire time. I realized, hey, I can do something else that's still going to help me in engineering in kind of like this off way, and then since it's going to help me, it'll give me a break. And then I didn't even realize how much fun I had until like after I was done, and I was like, man, I didn't even realize. So that one thing that I was like, oh, this thing is still going to help me with my goal, but it's different than what I've been doing. It's like it ended up leading into a bunch of different stuff that I still needed, but it was in a completely different way, because I ended up getting different items, different like armor or whatever that I ended up selling on the market to make money, and then I could buy more of that weird wood or like whatever. So it was nice to just figure that out of like, oh, okay, I had this goal, I wanted to grow in engineering, and then because I kept that goal in my mind, and I saw that doing this other thing with my company would still relate to my goal, but I didn't just hop into something that had nothing to do with my goal, or kind of just threw my goal out the window. It was like I still kept it, and then at the end of it, it became so much fun because I was doing something with my company that was helping them, and at the same time it was helping me too. So it just gave me a lot more energy to be excited about engineering instead of being like hella bummed from just grinding and grinding and grinding, you know what I mean? And after that, I just, went back to it because I felt like I had energy. It was weird because I was still doing something that was for my goal, but I still had energy to like go back and grind again. And I was just like, dude, this is dope. So I got back in it, started grinding again, started making some more spears, started going out and farming again. Hey, thank you guys so much for sticking around, watching this video all the way through, and having this experience with me. And if you have any questions, comment down below. I'd be super happy to answer any questions you have. It's literally what I do. So if you guys want to get notified for the videos in the future, I plan on having a lot of them because I am very much enjoying this game. Make sure to smack that subscribe button. If you guys want to join me live and get ahead of the YouTube curve, I am on twitch.tv/ripdigits. I would love to see you there. Hope this guide to engineering has actually helped propel you guys forward into being able to do this stuff as quickly as possible at the pace that you want to do it, that isn't super grueling and super bummering. So thank you guys so much, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next video.